Hey guys, Cam McClellan.
Al Lewison.
Welcome to today's Wealth Bod.
Wealth workout of the day.
Al came across someone that we hadn't seen for about 15 years, which inspired today's WOD.
Little Davey D-Money.
Yes. Give me the rundown, mate, on where we first came across this guy. This WOD is about understanding an advisor's motivation and experience.
Yeah, jump in if I'm missing anything here. So I'm going to say 10 years ago, Cam and I were at a wedding. And
Good 10 years ago?
Yeah, we were seated next to this guy, Little Davey D-Money. Not his real name, but David's his name.
Thanks, David.
And during the course of the dinner, Cam and I, as I said 10 years ago, we'd started our investment journey in terms of property investing. Might have had 30 properties between us, let's say, at that point in time. And I'm sitting next to D-Money, and he says, I've got a business advising people on property. You can't afford not to come and see me. Come and sit down at my company and talk about your portfolio strategy, blah, blah, blah.
So, the camera's rattling, just keep doing this.
I'll move the chair. Anyway, so Cam and I make a time, we go in and see this guy and his business partner at their office, fancy office in Hawthorn. And they sit us down and they say, look, your entire portfolio there of 30-ish properties, need to sell them all if they're in the wrong areas. You probably won't get the growth you can expect if you buy apartments closer into the city. You need to go and buy apartments for this reason, that reason. 40 minutes later, Cam and I have walked out sort of in a little bit of despair, thinking, we've made all these mistakes, all these properties we bought. Anyway, we jump in the car, we drive back to our office, maybe half an hour later.
I think it was literally by the time we got back to the car.
I thought it was, but I thought I'd sort of make it more realistic. So by the time we got to the car, we've actually snapped ourselves out of this daze and thought everything they've said is absolute rubbish, but we also realised at the same time all the tactics they were putting in place for in their office were make a decision now, you need to sign this document that says you'll deal exclusively with us over the next 12 months, you need to do this, need to do that. We then realised, obviously there's key things you need to do, and I think we've talked before about understanding your advisor's motivations, but jump in there.
Oh no, the amusing thing, the guy who we're still really good mates with, Jared, we built houses next door to each other, Jared and I down at Torquay, so really good friends. Al called Jared and just said, I met with your mate Davey from the wedding, and he goes, what? He goes, and we told him why we met with him. He goes, he doesn't own any property himself. So hang on, this guy has smashed Al and I around for 45 minutes and we got a reasonable portfolio at that stage together. This guy's trying to advise us. So we sat down and we unpicked all the things he was telling us. What he was telling us was all the things that would guide us towards buying property through him. So understanding an advisor's motivation, if we didn't buy through him and we didn't believe that all what we'd done was mistakes, we wouldn't buy through him and he wouldn't make these massive commissions that the apartment developers were going to pay him. So understanding an advisor's motivation comes down to how they're paid. So once you drill in, and asking people how they're paid in business is not rude, it's the rule. You should expect for everyone you meet with to understand and clearly outline, in writing if required, how they're paid. By understanding how someone's paid, you understand why they're promoting a certain service or product.
So what did he try to do? He tried high pressure tactics. Decide today before you leave to sign with me exclusively that I'll be dealing with you for the next 12 months. He then go and find us property and sell it to us and get paid to sell the property. He was going to charge a commission of us to find him property. What else was there?
Oh, no, they're the main thing. I think what was amazing.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. Well, what we found amusing afterwards, when you look back at the situation, and we found him, that's what Al came across him during the week, and no disrespect, but he hasn't done any better than what he was in those days. So obviously by not employing the things that he's preaching, has obviously kept him on that same road where we've tucked a couple of
Would it be like taking your car to a mechanic who's never seen a car before?
Pretty much.
And ask him to fix your car?
Pretty much. So think about all the advisors, whether it be Uncle Bob at the barbecue who starts telling you about the property market, whatever it is, go, what's his experience? A financial planner, while financial planners are out there and we know a number of them, they're there to preserve wealth. Financial planners are not there to build wealth for people. So financial planners diversify, and historically they'll promote products which they get paid for.
I encourage everyone to look up some of the trouble happening in that industry at the moment, particularly around some of the banks. Find that yourselves.
Yeah, so once again, by understanding how someone's paid, you'll understand why they're promoting a certain product. Accountants are good ones. People always seem to look to their accountants for financial advice. accountants aren't there to give financial advice. Firstly, the majority of them aren't licensed to give financial advice. Secondly, most financial planners and financial accountants are not wealthy. So the old saying, why would someone who can drive a Rolls Royce to work trust someone who catches the train with their money? You know, so it's amazing how, think about some of the major funds. I don't know the strategy they're putting in place, or don't know the individual. So self-managed super, Al and I run our own self-managed super fund. And the way Al and I talked about it when we first set up our self-managed super fund, yes, we've got a strategy to invest our money in, but the reality was giving our money to an industry fund or a commercial fund felt like literally sitting at a cafe, not knowing who I was giving money to, and walking over to a random person on the other side of the cafe and going, here's my 200 grand superannuation, do what you want with it. I don't know their skill set, don't know what they're going to invest in, don't know anything about it, so it was a lot better in my control. So once again, come back to how people are paid is why they promote a certain service or product.
So little Davey D money, the lesson we learned very early on was understand your advisor's motivations and understand how they're being paid.
And their skill set. Yeah.
Skill set.
Skill set.
Good one, Davey.
Nice one, Dave.
See you guys.